Hey friends, and welcome to Mom Talk Maryland. I'm your host, Claire Duarte, founder of the Columbia Mom, and this is your spot for real conversations, local love, and a whole lot of community. Whether you're folding laundry, running errands, or hiding in your car for some peace and quiet, let's dive in. Well, cheers to Tuesday morning.
Cheers, mate.
Actually, you get a special podcast because today is my last day of 37. I got my B-Day tomorrow, so we can kind of celebrate together.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday. We got some good weather today,
It's beautiful. It's going to be 80 degrees today.
I know. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get outside. I'm like, my impulsivity is like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So we're going to see where the wind takes me today.
Okay, anytime outside is good.
I know, exactly.
Out of the four walls, it's like,
I know.
We had a brutal winter.
We did. We really did. I was just talking about that with a friend about like, mentally how tough winter can be, and then just like the cold and I think the weather just kind of being like up down. You know what I mean?
The biggest thing for me was all of the snow days and then the lack of decisiveness about what's happening in school. It was like, the snow, then wait a second. Oh, now you're off tomorrow. Now you're off for the week, and it's like
so brutal.
Pivoting with that, it's tough for business too.
Oh. Yes, seriously. I mean, you have a brick and mortar, but like even for me too, if like, filmings, calls, meetings, clients, it's just the ripple effect and for our help. So like I said, my kids are one's in the county, one's private. So like, for like, I think a total of like 16 weeks. So like you would have the snow days and then like one of my kids would have a day off already in that week with the snow day. And then the next one would have a day off. Like, yeah, it was just mayhem. But we're here.
We are here.
We're here.
Spring is upon us. I'm excited.
Spring is sprung. I know. Well, Stephen, I'm so excited to have you here. I've known you, gosh, like, I feel like we became like, I don't even like want to call it like real friends a year because I've known you for longer than that. Like you've had your business. I know, exactly. Like, from our chamber circles and things like that. But you own an awesome spa right here in Columbia. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, of course, about your business, about yourself, but one of my kickoff questions that I always love starting in, I love an origin story. And I love when I sit down with people because everyone gives me so many cool different variations and, and I love like however you interpret your origin story. Some people think like whether that's like how, if you had a lifelong passion in this or, I love the zigzagging of like how you got there. I'm just painting that picture because I've just had so many cool different conversations lately. So that's my biggest nugget, but take the floor and let's hear from you.
So my name is Stephen Conti. I was born in DC.
Mm-hmm. I was born in DC
at Columbia Hospital for Women.
Oh, nice.
On Mother's Day.
Wow.
4:39 p.m. So
oh my gosh.
I get to celebrate my birthday every year with Mother's Day in mind with my mom and my wife. So it's an interesting time to be born on Mother's Day. I think.
That certainly is.
It's the best gift. I tell them I'm the best gift you've ever had. Right?
That's right.
But born in DC, grew up in Prince George's County. I call it PG County because I'm from PG.
Yep.
Went to Eleanor Roosevelt, which was one of the great science and tech programs in the county. And then went right down the street to the University of Maryland, College Park.
Whoop, whoop. So
I guess this is a looping story, but I'll try to bring it home.
Yeah.
I started in the College Park Scholars Program.
Oh, nice.
As a business kind of you have business concentration.
Yeah.
So by the second semester, you had to, at minimum, have a 3.0 GPA to get into the business school.
Yeah.
I was messing around my first year.
As we do.
Which made it not possible. So I had to make a shift and went to comms, so communications. And I finished there 2004. Went right into massage school right after I graduated. Finished in 2006. And then took a break. Like I didn't start immediately. I didn't actually get licensed until 2008. So I graduated in 2006. Didn't get my full Maryland massage license until 2008. So now 18 years in practice.
Wow.
I work for a law firm.
I work for a law firm too.
Yeah, I was legal marketing. So
okay.
Yeah. So not an attorney, but I did legal marketing. So everything on the back end of business, which I learned in that 2.5 year span there, has got me where I am. I'm talking about, we used to use Quark. So Quark is the InDesign competitor at the time. That's probably phased out now, but I did trade books. We put together programs. I did website stuff, print marketing. I traveled, promotional orders. We ran a suite at the Nats and the Wizards Stadium. So I was into everything.
Yeah.
Which in a business sense has made me super prepared for also the client side of things.
Yeah.
So then I went to work for a franchise. Mm-hmm. And while I was also working for the law firm, and I said, I don't want to put a suit and tie on anymore. So let me trade it in for khakis and a polo shirt.
That's right.
And get to work. I quit the law firm.
Uh-huh.
Then I started doing franchise work for a couple years. And then I quit that and joined in with a friend of mine in a rental agreement at a office building in Howard County.
Uh-huh.
So that was 2012. I went full-time with massage.
Nice.
So we are, in 10 years there.
Yeah.
Then I moved to my own space, where it was my own brick and mortar, my only name on the door. Mm-hmm. And I've been there for 3.5 years now.
Love it.
So now I'm getting to the point where I want to put the suit back on.
Isn't that funny?
And I want to do
funny?
networking and business development and like everything I was doing before that I said, I'm done with this. Now I want to do it again. So I'm buying suits again and I'm,
But you know what's fun? See, and this is why I love origin stories. This is also why I love sitting down to do the podcast, because it's like, especially like when, like you and I are both out in the community a lot. Like, when you're out in the community and you're either at the business's establishment or you and I both do a lot of networking, you can kind of see that side of business, right? But like you don't always hear these stories, right? Like how you got there and, all the weird zigzagging that we're talking about. And I actually think that makes so much sense with you because, every time I've seen you've always been so nicely put together. You network so well, and that makes so much sense knowing, like, your background at, Terps and Scholars. My husband was in, I think it was an honors program. Denton.
At Denton.
Is
so
honors,
there was a
right?
Cambridge community, then there was a Denton community.
Yes.
And that was the super smart people. We were like kind of smart.
Oh, I was not in that program. I was the second semester. What was it called? Freshman connection kid. Okay. That was me.
Yeah.
So I'm a MoCo girly. Okay. You don't need to explain the abbreviations. We're Maryland kids through and through. But no, I think that makes so much sense that like you were like heavy in the business like world. You know what I mean? I think, and then you, like so many of us, right, like post-graduation, we're kind of like doing, because we're, taught to be straight-laced, we're taught to, go after the ambitious thing, to be successful, to be the provider, right? But then along the way, like, we're not taught to go after our passions, though when we're kids, we're taught that. And then once you get to high school, they like, oh, no, that's cool, but put that away.
But do something in this box.
Right.
You have these
right.
options.
It's like we preach passions forever, and we're still doing that to our kids. Dream big, right? And then so it's like in our 20s, or frankly up until whenever we find it, right? We're kind of like in that like self-discovery process that we are trying to give ourselves permissions to, not because necessarily our parents couldn't and wouldn't, but they were trying to help us to be successful.
Correct. In their vision of success.
Right. So I'm not even blaming them, because the same thing that they were putting on us is what their generation was putting on them. You know what I mean? And so, anyway, so just like now you established your business, right? And then so you kind of like, you check the box. Okay, now I've gone after my passion, and now it's like you're almost like kind of going back to your roots.
Yeah, it was. I have binders of stuff from high school and looking through some of the notes I had in there. This is 1999.
I love that you're dropping dates. I love that you're dropping dates.
I want to open up a spa.
No
it's been in my spirit forever.
Wow.
And just getting exposed to touch and healthy touch, like right through sports, like played football, had trainers and things of that nature. But I just always enjoyed it. I enjoyed how, doing massage or being massaged felt.
Yeah.
And I also enjoy, and I still do to this day, enjoy the reaction after the session. Like when people come out of the treatment room, like,
right.
Yeah. I didn't know I needed it that much, but that was amazing. And I want to do this more.
Right.
And the conversation shifts from this is a luxury to this is being now part of my wellness and part of my routine, for me to function in this society with all the craziness and all the stress that's going on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Yeah.
And and now you're so like involved in Howard County. Like, actually, on our elevator ride up, you're like listing off. I mean, I knew that you were integrated and heavily networked, but it's like, tell me all the things that you do now outside of the spa.
Too much. And,
Too much.
And my phrase now, people say, how you doing? I said, I'm busy trying not to be as busy. So I'm trying to work systems and work off ramps to kind of have more of the free time that I want to have, that I say I want to have.
Right.
But right now, I'm the chair of the State Massage Therapy Board.
That's amazing.
So it's a regulatory body that regulates all the licensed professionals in the state of Maryland. So anyone who has a healthcare or a Maryland State of Department of Health issued license, we regulate those folks, and that's disciplinary issues and everything in between. Anything that relates to them being licensed by the state to do massage, I'm the chair of that board, and I've been the chair for the last 2 years.
Wow.
So I just renewed.
Yeah.
I renominated. So this is the second governor that's nominated me.
Yeah.
So if everything pans out, it will be 8 years of experience in the regulatory space at the state level. So we've been to Annapolis, we've testified, wrote concept papers on bills. We've had about 4 different bills that I've personally been involved with that have passed.
Incredible.
So this, and I talked to my executive director about it, and it's like, you didn't think that you wanted to do this or wanted to be involved.
Isn't that funny?
And she said, once you got into it, it blew my mind how interesting and fantastic this world is of regulation. And I thought it was kind of dull, like, well, writing legislation and statutes.
Right. Or just like, obviously you need a license to operate and blah, blah, blah. Like, those are your administrative check boxes.
But all the mechanisms behind the scene that make it possible.
Yeah.
And all of the nuance, how regulations are created, how it's in response to bad actors or things that are going on that need to be addressed.
Right.
That blew my mind. So I'm 100% like involved in like policy now, which is it's fascinating. So that's one thing I do. Right?
Yeah.
So
wait, quick pause, real quick, just because one thing I've noticed for myself, again, like I still feel like I know very little about like government and politics, but the more that I've been in business and networking in the area, and obviously kind of getting to know more like delegates, governors, like, you start to think becoming a business owner forces you to now start to pay attention to all these government and like political terms, because you're like, because now that really affects me.
It really
affected my personal taxes, but now I see how this really affects me, and it, and then when you're in the room specifically too, it's like you're seeing how it also, because not all things might directly, yes, it does directly affect your business, but I'm also seeing how it affects my peers, my community members. Like I've seen like so many things that are, affecting like the restaurant association, realtors association, you know what I mean? So it forces you to start paying attention to things.
Everything.
Yeah, so I'm with you in the sense of like, so now I started to attend some of those legislative events because I'm with you, it's interesting. And because, I'm like, and it has made me a more active person in voting and putting your voice out there, because like, yes, on the personal side, but like now, like this is like how we're running our business and things like that, and how much of it affects our whole community.
100%.
Yeah.
And just tapping into actually talking to the regulators.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, in my mind I always see like the federal side, like these people are probably unreachable. They're not taking your calls, but the state level at least, and then the local level, I've called my county council person and spoken to him directly. I've talked to Howard County delegates and senators directly. So you have access. I think people maybe just don't realize it really is a phone call away. If you you have to make the effort though, but they are very responsive to the constituent needs. And I never thought that way. I thought, oh well, they're just doing what they want to do.
I know.
But now you see, it's like they really move to the beat of the constituents.
They do. And again, I feel like I feel like I have conversations with local county delegates all the time too, and because they're also so very much enriched in the county, because of their level and stuff like that. But had I not started my own business, I probably wouldn't. Again, it's funny, they were probably always in the community talking to community members, but I wouldn't have had that their visibility might not have been apparent to me had I not stepped into this
100%.
world.
Because now you see them out, like, oh, I see you everywhere now.
Yes,
it's like,
and I'm
was
like,
I not paying attention before?
No, I was, because I didn't need to, like, you know. So, anyways, I think that's so cool that you're so involved with that.
Yeah, that was a revelation. Like, I had no inkling in my mind that that would be something I would enjoy or like get fueled from. And it's like, yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
In a good way. It's like,
in a good way, and that's again why I talk about, again. I know this isn't not like origin story, but it's just like the zigzags of life, right? The things that kind of that we come across, that we encounter, you know what I mean, that we end up being really passionate about, and I think it's so cool.
Yeah, that's been really fun. What else? You asked, what are the things I'm doing?
Leadership Howard County?
Yeah, so I'm in the Leadership Howard County 2026 cohort.
2026 cohort.
They said the best class ever.
Oh, let it be on record.
And that's also been fascinating. It's been getting to see behind the scenes of all of the different things that make the government work in the local government, Howard County. It's fascinating. And it's a great group of people.
How many are in the class?
It's got to be like 30 to maybe
it's
30,
a nice
32-ish.
chunk, right?
Yeah, it's a nice chunk.
I probably should not drop it. I've always, like, it's in a bucket list, because as soon as I say that, they're coming. They've been coming for me, but yeah, exactly. I see him everywhere too.
You know, it's been a great program. I was also on the fence about, like, do I have the time for it? And it's like, you know what? I'm going to make the time for it. And it's already like just the networking and just seeing all the stuff behind the scenes. Like, we just had the legislative day. We went down to
the Went to the I saw the post on that.
It's fascinating seeing all the things that are available in this great county.
Yes.
That you just don't know about because, you know, you're in your bubble, right? You take the kids, you got work, kids work, and you get into this rhythm, and sometimes you get you don't have the opportunity to see the bigger picture of how it all blends in with everyone. And it's fascinating. Well,
and again, I hate that I keep coming back to the same thing. I think that's why I found it so fascinating of just like, wow, how all these like these little votes, these little things affect like our whole community. Yes, I mean, obviously I think about it from the county level, but definitely the state level too. And then, because then, you know, the federal things affect the state, which affect the county. You know what I mean? We see the you know, the effect of it kind of going back and forth, right? Yeah. And I agree. It's like when I went to, I don't remember what event it was, but like, you know, one of the state members coming back and giving us their update post. You know, it's like we're coming into that season, since legislative season's about to wrap up, right? So it was like in April, like one of those events, and they're kind of like letting us know which bills were passed and things like that. And it's so interesting, you know, because we're both because we're never not a community member, but we're still, you know, so we feel the effects on both sides. And I agree, it's so cool to, you know, once you learn it, it's
it's like you can't turn back now that you know, like,
and now that I know, I can't unsee it.
You can't. So which is interesting.
Which is good.
And I think it brings a lot of civic awareness and little things, even like the bag tax.
Yeah.
I never thought about that for 2 seconds until you get the letter and say, hey, you either apply for an exemption or you owe this fee. And it's like, well, I don't have plastic bags, so I have to do an exemption every year. But these are the little laws or the minimum wage, and it's like, that affects me directly now. Now I see it. Like,
I remember, so again, like, so things like that, like, again, I have contractors, so that's a different thing. So I don't have like full-time employees. But when I see stuff like that, like, even if I know it doesn't directly affect me, like, I remember reading up on that because I was like, this will, even if it doesn't affect me right now, this will affect me. So I was like, I want to understand. And like, it's fueled me with this desire to understand.
Yeah.
And to inform myself, to not just be a person floating in the background.
You got it.
You know?
And the chamber is great for that. Because you get around people and you start, once you make those connections, now I care about your issue.
Right.
Because it's important to you.
Right.
Tell me about it. And then you don't have to necessarily go read through all the 50,000 bills that are out there, but having someone in your circle that you know and care about that's affected by something. Yeah. It's like direct download. Like,
exactly. It's like the big one. I think it was last year, and it might have. I think this was. I don't think it was federal level, but definitely state level of like. I don't remember the name of it, but the one with the restaurants with like the tip, and that was a big one because I know what's her name. Trisha Hudson, who was like on, head of like the restaurant association. You know what I mean? So it's like that forced me to like read up. I mean, again, I'm on the consumer side,
right.
but that's going to massively affect so many of the organizations that we know and love. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's just it's so we were clearly nerding out so hard on this.
It's fun because that's in segue. I'm also in the legislative committee at the Howard County Human Trafficking Prevention Council. So I joined that last year because that's somewhat intersect with the massage board because we have a lot of what they call illicit massage establishments. These illegal operations that are, doing
that makes
illicit
so
activities.
Much sense.
And I wanted to lend my viewpoint from all the disciplinary cases that we see where we have to send to law enforcement for the local board because people still have this blinder on in Howard County. Oh, that doesn't happen here. We don't. Yeah, we do.
Please don't tell me otherwise.
Right down the street, like, and unfortunately,
don't tell me which ones. Just
it's out there. And
I mean that's just the real world we live in.
It is, and so
kind of like there is crime in Howard County, even though we don't like to think that.
Correct.
Yeah, it's lower than other places, but
it is, but it's still here. It happens, and it's unfortunate, but so that's pretty much the sum of the things I'm into. I know.
I'm gonna take that deep breath for you because it's not just like you're not just like little involved in those ones. You're like big involved.
I am, and I guess I do so many things I don't have time to really process how much.
Right, because you're just in it.
I'm just kind of going.
Especially with your being chair for the massage the board and things like that, and leadership, which is also a big commitment, and you're running your business.
Yes.
You're running a business. Oh my gosh.
Which is fun. And sometimes not fun, but mostly fun.
Mostly fun. I know. Well, I've been having a lot of conversations because, I mean, hey, it's obviously so good to see you too because, like, this time last year, it's like, well, again, the market and the economy last year, which we're still very much in, it hasn't changed, you know what I mean? But, like, I feel like 2025 was a ride.
Yeah.
Was a ride.
I think for everyone.
Yeah. Everyone.
And we're always the first line to get hit. Where people consider it still as a luxury item, it's something that you don't need a massage to live. You need food, you need shelter, you need gas in your car. These are like absolutely, it's rough right now.
Like I said, we're still in it.
But I would say the saving grace, we're in a county that has more of a buffer. It's a more affluent county, and it's a very active county.
Yes.
So people are really into their triathlons, biking, races. Yeah. They move in this county, which is great for the business I'm in.
Right.
But it's still always
you're not affected.
No.
Oh. No. For sure. No. But no, I mean I know even with marketing, like, from like business budgets, that's what happens too. It's like, from like you're getting hit from kind of like the consumer side, and then I get hit from like businesses that are getting that are trimming the fat, which again, it makes sense, right? Like, I mean, I can even agree, like I slowed my networking attendance down to like talk about
it's a reality.
Yeah, it is a reality, but my next question to you was kind of like on this, we were just starting to hint this, you're from PG County, you live in Howard County, talk about like, why you started a business in Howard County. I mean, because you're so deeply entrenched here and with how your business got started and everything like that.
So it was not any sort of calculated decision.
Yeah.
It was a guy who worked with me at the franchise said, hey, I have an extra room here. I need some help. Can you help? Can you come in? Okay, why not?
Right.
And it sounds so uncalculated.
Oh,
but just like
that's my whole life.
I said,
my whole life.
This was the time. Like at the time, I had no responsibilities other than myself, which was an absolute blessing.
Yeah.
So, didn't have a wife, didn't have a child. I was my only responsibility. So it's like, why not? Let's try it, because if it all blows up, then I can start over. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
So that's literally the calculus that went into it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about Howard County at that time. I'd been to the mall. We used to come to the mall with sneakers and kind of but that was it. And it's like, oh, this is a nice place. So then at some point I moved up from Hydesville into off of Stevens Forest, and The Autumn Crest Apartments. That was my first place here.
So my husband grew up off of Kilimanjaro.
Yep.
Like,
right over there.
oh my God.
And it was a really great little place because it had the walking paths that led to the lake.
Yep.
I could walk over to Dunkin' Donuts. They put a Dunkin' Donuts there. They had a food store there, a couple ones, Food Line, and it left.
Oh, I know. Yep.
But it was a nice little area. I felt like it got a bad rep. Like, this is a bad place, but it was great for walking.
Well, you say like that's what's funny about Howard County. It's a bad rep for Howard County.
Yes, and that's what I hear. And that's what I see. I'm like, this is the Columbia areas are like, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I don't know if it's because of my experience growing up in PG, but like,
right.
I'm like, this is nice. I'm like, I
know.
go for walks. I'm like, the bike paths are great. Like, this
is
pretty nice.
Well, again, my husband's from like the Oakland Mills area, and so like same thing. I mean, again, I'm from Olney, which is like just down the street, but like Montgomery has like some very affluent, and then we kind of swing the other side too. Sure. And just growing up in the DC area, we've seen lots of variations. But yeah, so when he says like certain pockets of Howard County that like that area's a little shady, I'm like, what are you talking about?
That was my take on it. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something, but
right. Again, I'm not like from here. I'm like, it's still like that's the joy of Howard County. It's like everything, like even the the areas that may be considered like lesser than are still like still a great place to live, relatively safe. I mean, that's what gets our county or our city nominated as what, like top 10 safest, happiest places to live. Yeah.
So,
and apparently run a business.
Yeah. So I was there, and for a while, then we shifted. Where did we go? We moved off of Columbia Road, and I can't even think of the name of the place. It's right by the golf course.
Oh, okay.
There was another apartment before we bought our house.
Yep.
But yeah, no. When I came to Howard County, that was literally the reason. It was to come back and forth to commute to the office space I was renting. And then I said, I'm tired of driving.
Oh, yeah.
29 and 95.
I know, because 29.
And that's all right. Well, let me start looking for a place. And then I found a place, and then, I'm here.
How funny.
Yeah, and I love it.
Well, and I feel like, and again, you probably know this even better than I do. I feel like for owning and running a business, let me choose my words. There's at least we're not Montgomery County. Montgomery County, I feel like, is very strict and a very expensive place to live, and obviously to run a business too. But I feel like there's a lot of great opportunities and resources here to own a business, to run a business, to start a business.
I feel like this is a very business-friendly climate here in Howard County, and I think that's been intentional from Dr. Ball and the leadership at the top of the county to make this a great place to do business, and the support for businesses is really amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have experience in any other county.
No, same.
Business,
but from what I
hear, it's like
from what I hear, I feel like there's reasons why businesses are coming to Howard County, and opening up shop here versus what you're going to pay in business taxes, elsewhere.
Yeah, it's been great, and the support is great.
And the support,
and that's even with the chambers, and just the local business community is strong, and I don't know, I feel like it's probably the greatest place that we could have imagined to start and grow a business here.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's what I feel like how I got started, again, because I don't have a brick and mortar and things like that, or product and inventory and things like that, but how I got started was just obviously relationships, connections, meeting people, meeting businesses, and what I always laugh about is I always tease that Columbia is the most incestuous place in the best way, in the sense of everybody does everything and goes to each other's events. Everyone's on each other's boards. It's when I first started, I had the hardest time figuring out who was the Columbia Association people versus the Meriwether people versus the Howard Hughes versus Meriwether District, because they all, you know what I mean? Leadership, you know what I mean? It's and chamber, it's everybody goes to each other's events, everyone's on each other's boards, but that's what makes it such an interweb, because we all know each other and we're well connected, and when you kind of fabricate all those things together, it creates a really strong foundation, I feel in this community.
I agree. I think everyone is connected.
Yeah.
And more, it's surprising because everywhere, like literally if it's an event at the chamber, if it's an event like a multi-chamber event, it's like you see the same people. It's like, oh, everyone is involved. I think the involvement is the biggest thing. I think we have a really good group of business owners in the county that stay involved.
I was going to say that want to be involved. I agree.
Which is good to see, because then you start to see that, like, hey, so and so, you're doing well. I've been following you. I've been checking you out. Now I see you, and now I see you everywhere. Yeah. And it's just like so weird. It's like, oh, hey, again. Hey,
I know.
Good to see you again.
I know. Well, because the reality is too is like, I think it's so great to. I mean, obviously, we love seeing all of our business, all our business partners, succeed and grow and things like that. But we all need each other, you know what I mean? Like, because there's so many, like, for instance, like nonprofits and charities and foundations, like, we're all asking each other for different things, whether it's referrals and resources or, employees or, who was I talking to the other day that, like, we have this event, so everyone's always looking for sponsors, like, you know what I mean? So it's like we all have to talk to each other. We all have to have good relationships with each other, because at the end of the day, we all need each other just like we do on the community level.
That's what it's all about, is relationship building, maintaining, showing up for people.
Yes.
And just, being a resource and trying to help.
I know.
That's how I look at things.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's probably why we've always synced, because I think that's just like, the core of like what I believe in and what I like to do and how I try to show up and serve. You know what I mean? But actually, real quick, let me bring it back to your business real quick, because I want everybody to know. Before we wrap up here in a few minutes, tell us all about like the different services and offerings that you have, how people can book services, and what they can expect.
I'll start with what you can expect.
Yeah.
We are not a sterile franchise environment.
Yeah.
We have intentionally created an intimate space that is warm, is welcoming, is all client-centered, meaning when you come in for a treatment, which we offer massages, facials, and we just started doing waxing. Everything is custom to that client that day. So it's not like a run and gun. You come in, you go out. It's a time and attention to detail. We do follow-ups with our clients. We provide recommendations, post-visit. Like, it's just a full 360 view of that person. And we refer out a lot. So if you come in and you have something that we are literally just not capable or trained to do, we have referral partners, neurologists, physical therapists, nutritionists, podiatrists. We believe in integrating the care, and if it's not something the massage or aesthetic would help with, then we refer out to people we trust. Yeah. And those people often are also our clients as well.
Right,
so
right.
We have great relationships. But
I love that.
I would say the biggest thing, Tocar, we're family oriented. We're really looking to build a relationship with our clients in long term. Not you come in once and we don't see you again. Like, that doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
So we try to build those long term relationships. All our therapists have great experience, great quality. We offer unique services, so we do a couples massage lesson. That's one of our unique ones.
Oh, that's cool.
Where a couple will come in and learn from the therapist. Obviously, we're not certifying anyone.
No.
But we're just teaching you. Like, pick 2 or 3 areas. It's a 2-hour session, but each person has 45 minutes to learn.
Yeah.
So it's, hey, Claire, what do you want to work on? What do you want your husband to focus on?
Yeah.
What are your top 2 problem areas every day? My feet, my shoulders, and we'll show you how to work it. You get a little poster to take home. You get a massage oil to take home.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so we do some unique things. Lomi Lomi is like a Hawaiian massage.
Yeah.
We do a 4-hand massage where 2 people are massaging you at one time.
Whoa.
We like to have fun. So it's really cool. And then with the couples massage lesson, we do workshops now. We just did our first one for Valentine's Day. But we want to have,
I was going to say, that's perfect timing,
5 or 6 couples come in, and we have we rent out the conference room in our building. It's fun.
That's
so we're doing it quarterly now. The next one is May 23rd coming up.
We got to get it on the calendar. It's
fun. It's light, it's fun. We have music playing, and we make it entertaining. Where you can have fun and learn at the same time. But we're everywhere on social, Tocar Spa. The easiest thing to do is go online and book an appointment, but you can call in, you can email, however however you communicate, we can meet you there. But the absolute easiest is pop on the website.
Yep.
Pick the service you like.
Of course.
Book now. It's all done. It's super simple. You get a text confirmation, email confirmation. All the electronic forms now, we've upgraded from paper.
Oh,
we're in the modern age now,
That's
so you can fill out your
intake
form.
I know.
So we're accessible. We're easy.
Yeah.
And we're right downtown, right by the mall.
So. You are. You're right off Broken Land.
Right off Broken Land. Yep.
I love it. And where can they find you on Instagram?
At Tocar Spa. We're on TikTok at Tocar Spa.
Oh, love it.
Facebook at Tocar Spa. So we keep it, brand simple.
That's what we love. Simplicity is key.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks so much for being here today, Stephen. I always love getting to see you and catch up. And, I feel like the one thing we didn't talk about today, we'll just have to talk about the next time, because I fully agree, is talking about like business growth and focus. And that's been a big priority of mine, something I've been thrusting myself into. So I'm excited to see where you guys go next.
I will leave with this.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about growing, because I will talk about.
Oh, we will.
We did some demographic study of our clients.
Ooh.
46.5 years old is our average client.
Okay.
78% female.
That makes sense.
So in the range of mom.
Yeah.
In, elementary, going into middle school.
Yeah.
That's our target client. And even unintentionally, we try to make it available for everyone, but we looked at the data.
But once you have the data,
this is who comes in, and these are our clients. So
and then it allows you to
kind of niche down, and
that's right.
But yeah, we just love what we do. It's fun.
I love it.
You get to meet people, build relationships, and help people.
I know. Well, and then again, this is why I love what I do, because I always just get energized off of like hearing your story, hearing other people's story. And like, I've always known you were super passionate. I've always known you're super smart. But you bring so much of your knowledge and passion and intention to really everything you do, but obviously your business and how heavily you are involved, on the business and community level. And, I'm just so excited for people to know that about you and know that about Tocar, because that comes into your work,
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Well, cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers to growth this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
We're growing.
We are growing. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Mom Talk Maryland. If you loved it, leave a review, share it with a friend, or tag me at the.columbiamom on Instagram. I'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep supporting local, and keep being the incredible mom, woman, human that you are.